Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, NerdModon, and welcome to episode 14 of Sniper Sundays, a video series where I'll be using anything from DMRs to bolt-action sniper rifles and just kind of going over some information in relation to the item similar to a weapon review. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So for today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the 338 Recon. Now this weapon does clock in at 48 rounds per minute, as well as a velocity also clocking in at 520 meters a second. Now both of those statistics are below average when it comes to bolt action sniper rifles, and in many cases that's really going to hinder your ability to become a very effective recon player, as well as it's going to be a little bit more difficult to kill players, especially at those longer ranges. Now transferring your guys' eyes over to the damage model, you'll notice that this weapon does a maximum damage of 100 damage up until 12.5 meters, and then of course after 12.5 meters you're going to see a gradual decline of the overall damage being outputted at range. However, the minimum damage that this weapon does is 59 damage, and that can be reached at 150 meters. Now taking a look at the reload numbers as well as the magazine count, this will give us a better idea of how the weapon is going to perform, especially when it comes down to having to reload the magazine as well as understanding how much ammunition is within the magazine. Now starting things off with the reload numbers, you guys will notice that this weapon does have a short reload of 3 seconds as well as a long reload clocking in at 4.5 seconds. Now both of those reload numbers are a little bit on the long side, so that means you're going to have to be enduring a reload that's a little bit longer in comparison to a lot of the competitors within the same category. Now this specific weapon does have a 5-round magazine plus one in the chamber. You're going to add those both together, of course, and you're going to come up with 6 rounds total, which is pretty low when it comes down to most of the bolt action sniper rifles. Many of them have 11 rounds total, which in this case does not seem to be the case. And finally, taking a look at the recoil numbers, this will give you guys some information in relation to the item to kind of give you an idea of how it's going to perform every time you pull the trigger. Now starting things off on the horizontal side, you guys will notice that this weapon has a left pull of 0 as well as a right pull of 0. However, on the vertical side of things, you guys will notice that this weapon is going to be kicking vertically at 0.25. Now the easiest way to compensate for this is just to simply pull down, but in many cases, considering that this weapon is a bolt action sniper rifle, you're going to have to unzoom unless you do have this specific attachment on your weapon that allows you to continually fire, but in many cases you're probably going to find yourself having to unzoom anyway to acquire your next target. But in conclusion, this weapon really doesn't have any benefits to it that are really renowned or that other weapons of its similar caliber do not already own. So a lot of the cons of this weapon is a slow rate of fire, slow velocity, and in many cases a slow reload when it comes down to the short and long reload times. However, one of the redeeming qualities of this weapon is that you do not reach the minimum damage that the weapon can occupy until 150 meters. Most of the bolt actions in this specific category either drop off around 100 or 110 meters, meanwhile this one extends to 150 meters, so that might be very useful, especially if you're going to be doing some long range acquisition, but in many cases I would probably recommend some other weapons. But anyway guys, this has been this episode of Sniper Sundays. I hope you guys found all the information useful nonetheless, and of course if you guys would like to recommend a weapon for next week, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I will have all the available weapons linked in the description of the video, so you guys can let me know which one you would like me to use for the next episode. But until then guys, this has been NMO, and I'm going to be signing out guys. Peace.